So Rio de Janeiro is no more, right? It's completely wiped off the map. They totally demolished it, right? It does not exist. We're agreeing to this? Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire released this past weekend in 2024 and is directed by Adam Wingard, who's also directed such films like Homesick, Horrible Way to Die, The Guest, Blair Witch, and Godzilla vs. Kong. But they're not verses in this movie, no, they are X-did. X. And this film is starring, once again, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tree Henry, Dan Stevens, Kaylee Hoddle, Alex Ferns, and Fala Chen. Kong has made his home Hollow Earth, and has been searching the lands for any survivors of his old kind. Well, one day he does find signs of life of the old King Kongs, and befriends a little baby child Kong, who offers to take Kong to the adults who look after him. And upon his arrival, he realizes that the entire race of Kongs is enslaved by the head Kong of this little tiny army, Scar King. But Scar King seems to be too much for the Kong that we know and love, so Kong must call on a former ex of his to come and help him fight this Scar King. Notice how I never mentioned Godzilla once in that plot synopsis? That's because Godzilla barely shows up at all until the last 10 minutes of the movie. I apologize if that's a spoiler, but I'm just warning you. If you are a Godzilla fan, if you saw Godzilla -1 at the end of 2023 and you couldn't get enough of Godzilla, you want more Godzilla in your life, and you go into this movie, you are going to be extremely disappointed. Godzilla plays really nothing into this movie. When he finally shows up, he's basically like the Carrier Zord, if we're using Power Ranger terminology. He would be the thing that carries your Megazord into battle while the Megazord actually does all the stuff. That's what Godzilla is in this movie. He does nothing. This movie is really Kong's story. This is more of a sequel to Kong Skull Island than this is a sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong. So really, I wish this film was called Kong x Godzilla: The New Empire, because Kong is our main character. He is the main story here. And yes, we do have humans who do nothing. They give us exposition. They tell the audience what Godzilla is doing while he's taking a nap. They tell us where Kong is going so that we can go along for the ride with him. They are definitely acting like they are playing a big part in the story, but when you look at the grand scheme of everything, they play into nothing. We find there's this old human race that lives down in Hollow Earth who respects the good titans but then hates the bad ones like this Ska King. And then they turn the little mute girl into a superhero. God. If you can tell by my reaction, I was kind of rolling my eyes through a lot of this. Really, I roll my eyes a lot whenever Rebecca Hall comes on screen, not just in these movies, but really in any movie. I'm not a fan of her as an actress. She's very melodramatic. She knows how to get those trailer moments and to deliver those lines the most dramatic way you possibly can. And I think it's hilarious that her character finally discovers this human race in Hollow Earth, and they lead her into this chamber where they have a whole bunch of hieroglyphics, and she is able to, with no struggle at all, translate and narrate the story for the rest of the clan so that we have an idea of the history of the Kongs in Hollow Earth. It's just so stupid to me. And really their main objective, the humans' main objective in this movie, is to turn off gravity so that we can have an epic battle in the end where our monsters are literally just flying around, which was cool. But again, that's all the humans did, was they turned off gravity for a couple of minutes. Way to go, guys. Well, I guess we have a super dentist too as a human character, so he's there to fix cavities, what can I say? The part of this movie that I did enjoy was the Kong story, and when Kong befriends this little tiny baby Kong who is so adorable, that whole storyline I was following and I was into when it was just them on screen. When it was a big CGI fest on screen, I was actually into it. It's just when they brought the humans in and all that bullshit that I was like, oh, come on. Let's leave the humans out of this. I know we loved Godzilla -1. Everyone did, because it had great human story with Godzilla in it. I get that. I understand. But this monsterverse that Warner Brothers has created, They don't do the humans well. So I dare you, Warner Brothers, for the next Godzilla Kong movie that you do it just with Godzilla and Kong. Have no humans at all, have no subtitles. Have it just be these CGI characters for an hour, hour and a half, doing their thing. Do you have the guts to do it, Warner Brothers? I know you don't. You're probably going to get it into production, and then you're going to have a tax write-off with it in a couple of years before it's released anyway. But I dare you, Warner Brothers. Do it. So in conclusion, this film is okay when it comes to the CGI fest. I think the CGI looks great. And when we have the battles between Kong and Godzilla and this Scar King and all of his minions, I really enjoyed them. And even the non-battling moments with Kong and this little baby Kong and Kong just exploring the world, you can tell that he's very sad and he's very lonely. He wants to be sociable. I really enjoyed those moments. It's just when they introduce these stupid human characters who play into frickin' nothing, that's when I get annoyed and that's when my brain turns off. If we can have just the CGI cut of this movie, like if you release it on Blu-ray or 4K where it's just the CGI scenes and we have no human interaction at all, I think I would really love this movie. If you love big Godzilla battles, we get an epic one in the end, but again, this whole human story, this whole story just in general kind of just fell apart because I didn't care and I didn't want the humans to survive at all. I'm going to give Godzilla X Kong the New Empire 2 out of 5 Blu-rays. I've had better. So guys, if you've seen Godzilla X Kong, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit that bell, so you know the next time I release next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.